Donald Trump is losing all control on Tuesday morning. He's trying to comfort himself with that Saudi money. He has the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, in the White House. Now, today is Judgment Day in the sense that Congress is finally going to be forced to vote on the release of the Epstein files. We expect there to be an overwhelming vote in the House of Representatives to release the Epstein files, but we're already seeing what the plan is from MAGA Mike Johnson and Donald Trump to obstruct the release of the Epstein files. MAGA Mike will be working with the Senate to try to put poison pills in the bill so that the files are not released or any reference to Donald Trump is removed. MAGA Mike held a press conference earlier today. I'm going to do a whole video on that press conference, but this is the points that he tried to emphasize. He goes, the dangers of the discharge petition, if not amended. They want to amend it. They want to change it. They want to put in a poison pill to effectively kill the release of the Epstein files. And here's what they're saying right here. They say victim privacy does not adequately protect the victims. Well, the victims were on Capitol Hill and they said, release the damn files. But this is the point that references Trump. They say innocent persons. And we all know that Donald Trump does not fall into that class, in my opinion, or let's just say there are substantial suspicions that he doesn't fall into this class. But you have MAGA Mike Johnson saying risks disclosure of non-credible allegations creating new victims. And so what MAGA Mike says during a press conference is that there are all these men who are mentioned in there who didn't do anything wrong. Their names just happened to be there. And we're going to make them the victims if we release the files because people are going to see their names. So we have to protect the new victims. And by new victims, these sickos are referring to the rich and powerful men who are referenced throughout the files. You don't believe me? Here's MAGA Mike saying that the discharge petition could create new victims. Here, play this clip.
The discharge petition could create new victims. Okay? Because it requires the DOJ to release information even in cases where the DOJ or the FBI has already reviewed it and determined it is not credible. It is false information. Doing this and requiring this to come out could ruin the reputations of completely innocent people, such as those who have may just have known Epstein but knew nothing of his crimes or whose names he exploited. Think of this, innocent people whose names he exploited and used to try to get close to his intended victims. Their names may be in these files, and they had nothing to do with this. And so by just haphazardly releasing it, you're going to destroy their reputations. Releasing information containing the names of innocent people would subject those innocent people to a guilt by association. It would create an entirely new group of victims who have no means to clear their names. That's a concern of Congress, and it should be. It should be.
And then MAGA Mike said, oh, and it should be noted, Donald Trump has nothing to do with any of this. Here, play this clip.
They're trying to somehow tie President Trump to the scandal. President Trump has nothing to do with it. He has said himself he has nothing to hide. And that's clearly what they've been trying to do. They're trying to attack President Trump. This is what they've done. They weaponized the justice system over the last several years to go after him, and this is their latest attempt.
I'm going to do a more thorough video on what MAGA Mike's saying, so stay tuned and keep refreshing this YouTube channel. In about 90 minutes or so, you can expect a video on that. But I do want to talk about other news taking place this morning. We just got new jobless claim numbers for this past week. Jobless claims rose another 232,000 lost jobs the past week. So we're basically on track now for losing close to 1 million jobs a month or slightly under that. I mean, we're talking about the most job losses since the Great Recession and since the peak of COVID. We're also seeing perhaps some of the early signs of this AI bubble bursting, which we've been warning about, that this market has been propped up by AI companies just announcing deals with each other. But what we've seen over the past few days is a market driven by extreme fear. The Dow is down over 1% as of the recording of this video. The S&P down nearly 1%. NASDAQ is down over 1% as of the recording of this video. I do want to note as well, as Donald Trump and the MAGAs are coming up with their next iteration, their next plan plan to how to kill the release of the Epstein files. ProPublica was out with a powerful report this morning about how Donald Trump intervened on behalf of accused sex trafficker Andrew Tate during a federal investigation. You may recall Andrew Tate left Romania to visit the United States. He's under investigation for sex trafficking women in Romania. He came to the United States in February to hang out with all of the kind of MAGA crew here, his supporters, his base, his MAGA crew here. And so he arrives here, and then the feds, operating under normal assumptions, and even the police in Florida where he landed, they immediately seize his phones, they seize his laptop, and they say, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you're accused of sex trafficking. So no, we're going to conduct an investigation. Then the White House intervened, yelled at the FBI agents and the national security agents who confiscated Andrew Tate's phone and laptop, said, return it, stop investigating him right now. And one of Trump's allies who was responsible for that was Paul Ingrassia. And that name may sound familiar. He's one of Donald Trump's closest allies. He's who Donald Trump wanted to appoint to lead the office of special counsel. And then some of the most disgusting things from his past were reported on. And so he wasn't able to get that job, but he still holds senior government offices. But we know that he and Trump intervened to protect these sex trafficking allegations against the Tate brothers when they arrived here in the United States in February. They offered protection. It's just interesting. I guess that's not the right word. Shameless to see what the MAGA Republican Congress members are now claiming regarding this Epstein discharge petition. So you have someone like Nicole Maliotakis, MAGA Republican Congresswoman, and she's like, today the Republicans will do what Democrats refuse to do. We will vote to release the Epstein files. Well, I mean, you and the MAGA Republicans were the ones preventing it. You didn't sign the discharge petition. You and MAGA Mike and Trump blocked this at every turn. It was the Democrats fighting along with Thomas Massie, Republican from Kentucky, joined by three Republican women, Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mace, to sign the discharge petition. That's why this vote's being taken. But now we see what your cover-up is going to be. You're going to put poison pills in this bill in the Senate, and you're going to delay, and you're not going to release the files. It's obvious what's going on. You then have MAGA Republican Congress member Jimmy Petronas. He goes, this is why he said he never signed the discharge petition. He goes, nobody ever approached me about signing on the discharge petition. My attitude was whatever. This thing comes up for a vote. I'm going to vote on it. I've said that, but no one approached me with the discharge petition. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, writes, when asked why they refused to sign the Epstein petition for months, if they were always for releasing the files like they are claiming today, Republicans give one lame and pathetic answer after another. I want to show you one of the survivors from earlier this morning speaking at the press conference right in front of the Capitol building. Of course, we covered this live here on the MeidasTouch network, and she says, I'm traumatized, not stupid, Donald. Here, play this clip.
President of the United States of America, who is not here today, I want to send a clear message to you. While I do understand that your position has changed on the Epstein files, and I'm grateful that you have pledged to sign this bill, I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So with that being said, I want to relay this message to you. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. You have put us through so much stress, the lockdowns, the halt of these procedures that were supposed to have happened 50 days ago. The Adelita Grijalva who waited to get sworn in and then get upset when your own party goes against you because what is being done is wrong. It's not right. For your own self-serving purposes, this is America. This is land of the free. Land of the free. In 1863, we have a woman on top of the Capitol building represent freedom. I do not feel free today. I don't know if the women behind me feel free today. So I am begging every member of Congress, every representative to step up and choose the chaos. Choose the survivors. Choose the children. Protect the children. All children. You protect all of us equally.
Debt from credit cards isn't an accident. It's a system built to keep Americans down. The banks profit, the creditors win, and families lose. Every call, every fee, every high interest trap is another reminder the game is rigged. But there's another side to the story. PDS debt has already helped hundreds of thousands fight back, cutting debt, ending the calls, and putting money back where it belongs, in Americans' pockets, not the banks. Whether you are struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt has custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personalized plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save money, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, in your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, boasts thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Because PDS has helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. I use this and you should too. It's your money, it's your future. Don't let the system decide for you. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment and find the best option for you right now at pdsdebt.com/Meidas. That's pdsdebt.com/Meidas. pdsdebt.com/Meidas.
Some other news to report. The CDC measles outbreaks, the CDC links of measles outbreaks in multiple states right now risks the United States losing its status as having eliminated measles, a finding that could end America's status as measles free. I mean, I think we've already lost that status. We've seen major outbreaks across the United States and specifically located more in very highly concentrated MAGA areas where they've abhorred vaccines and spread all of these deranged conspiracies. But, while all of this is going on, Donald Trump is comforting himself with that Saudi money. He's got MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, in the White House. I'll cover that as well today in more detail. Of course, Donald Trump's family business, seems to be getting more involved in a $63 billion Saudi real estate project by a group called DAR, which is a subsidiary of the PIF, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. Donald Trump has made literally hundreds of millions, potentially billions of dollars in these types of transactions. Also, a Trump property in the Maldives with the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. Just take a look at how Donald Trump greeted the Saudi prince with a military flyover. Play this clip.
This pomp and circumstance. Let's listen in.
And in this next clip, you'll see the horses rolling out the red carpet. Here, play this clip.
Critical, and those are the relationships he's built over the last 10 years. This is a critical day. Civil nuclear, investments in AI, up to $1 trillion in American businesses, and of course, a defense agreement.
Now, normalizing the fact that the Saudi Arabian crown prince is here. We all know, obviously, the murder of Khashoggi, the Washington Post reporter. And we also know the involvement of the Saudis. 19 of the 21 hijackers or something, or close to that, were the hijackers of 9/11. We know the involvement of the Saudi government there. But Donald Trump's got to get his cash, everybody. He's got to get that do-re-mi while we the people suffer, while Americans are psychologically tortured, living paycheck to paycheck while things are far less affordable. Trump making those Benjamins. He's making that money, everybody. Him and his family, they got to get rich off of us. So utterly despicable. Meanwhile, in the United Nations, America is now being represented by Nicki Minaj. Yeah, Nicki Minaj, the rapper, and Donald Trump's ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Wall, said, it bears emphasizing that Nicki Minaj will be leading the United States in our policies against Nigeria. Here, play this clip.
On this, but then again, I just can't overemphasize, to have Nicki Minaj, to have the, you know, kind of pop culture and civil society saying enough is enough. Christians are the most persecuted religion around the world, but 80% of it happens in Nigeria.
I showed this earlier in the morning. I want to show it again. I want to show it frequently because I don't want this ever to be normalized. So Donald Trump's new attack on female reporters is to call them piggy. And he says, quiet piggy, and he yells at them when they ask questions about the Epstein files. For example, this is the Bloomberg reporter over here. See her? This is who he called piggy, and he says, quiet piggy. Here, play this clip.
Sir, yeah, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir,
Quiet, piggy.
I note this great political cartoon over at done by Pat Bagley, and he goes, some pig, quiet piggy, and Trump's the biggest pig of them all. One other thing I want to point out, Donald Trump raging like a lunatic on social media this morning after the Indiana State Senate said that they're not going to do mid-decade redistricting. Donald Trump posted this morning, I'm working with Governor Mike Braun and other Indiana Republicans on picking up 2 Republican congressional seats. The governor, a good man, must produce on this, or he will be the only governor, Republican or Democrat, who didn't. I won Indiana in a landslide, the most votes ever gotten in the state. Such an honor. A rhino senator, Roderick Bray, who doesn't care about keeping the majority in the House in D.C., is the primary problem. Soon, he will have a primary problem, as will any other politician who supports him in this stupidity. Thank you for your attention to this matter. DJT. And then he posts this one, all in caps. The only healthcare I will support or approve is sending the money directly back to the people, with nothing going to the big fat rich insurance companies who have made trillions and ripped off America long enough. The people will be allowed to negotiate and buy their own much better insurance. Pause. From who? Do you realize what you're saying? The people will be allowed to negotiate and buy their much better insurance from the insurance company. So when you stop the government's role and you're going to give, what, a $2,000 check to the people, which you're not, you're lying about, the same way you lied that people would get Doge dividend checks or tariff rebate checks. But now you claim you're going to give a $2,000 check to people, which you're not, but just assume you do. Where are they going to go and buy it at, huh? They're going to have to go buy it from insurance companies. And do you think that just an average American is going, or any American is going to be able to negotiate with those big bad insurance companies? Or do you think the purpose of the Affordable Care Act, in theory, was to pool together a huge portion of the population in order to make sure that all Americans get insurance, and that insurance companies did not discriminate on the basis of pre-existing conditions like existed before Obamacare, where 20 million Americans were uninsured? And the same way you're out there subsidizing Argentina or doing billion-dollar deals with the Saudis, if you focused our resources, again, not on another $200 billion to the military-industrial complex for a $1 trillion budget, or $200 billion to ICE, or $200 million for Kristi Noem's private jets, and $200 million for weird ad campaigns of Kristi Noem riding around in horses. But if we put that money and devoted it towards healthcare and used the leverage of the government to negotiate down prices, maybe that's something that we can do to lower healthcare costs. My own view, I'd like to see universal healthcare. I want to see rich people taxed more so that healthcare is made free. That's what I would like to see. But another way to do it is you have the Affordable Care Act, but rather than you spending all this money on Argentina and elsewhere, we focus on Americans. How about that? What a novel concept. Anyway, I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network, a busy news day today. Stay tuned throughout the day for our updates, and check out MeidasPlus.com as well. That's our Substack. Thanks so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.